think Scarecrow's crazy enough to detonate a chemical weapon in Gotham?
I won't let that happen, Jim.
So we're taking a look at Arkham Knight. This is the third game and final game in the Arkham trilogy.
It's Rocksteady's final at bat with Batman, and it's I think they wanted to go out on kind of a high note.
Well, listen, I mean, I think this is a big, bold, exciting open-world action game, and in a lot of ways, it's for sure the best game yet in this series. In other ways, it's not, and we'll talk about some of those kind of the gas and brakes here. At least set it up here. Basically, it just drops you right into the story, right? Scarecrow is like taking over Gotham, and he found a way to threaten everyone with gas.
All that remains is for you to watch as I drag your beloved Gotham into oblivion.
And he's brought on board a guy called the Arkham Knight. Now, we've not seen this character before in Batman lore. This is a mercenary. He's got a huge army at his disposal. He's got a suit of armor that looks kind of like Batman meets Iron Man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an Iron Batman. Yeah, it's got a cool look.
He's sort of like the dual nemesis of this game.
Yeah, it's interesting watching this new character kind of get worked into the lore, and this is the first time they've really done that. I mean, this is now a new character in Batman. I think that was awesome they did that, and I think it's awesome that you have different enemies to deal with, and they introduced the entire Rogues Gallery. I mean, Penguin shows up, Riddler, you've got Two-Face, and this is actually one area where I think the game stumbles a little, because they introduce too many characters, all doing terrible things in the city, and they kind of throw it at you and say, you know, just go run around and try to save this guy, and then you get a call from Alfred, save this guy.
You're safe.
Thanks, Batman. I thought they were gonna kill me.
There's so much going on, and I know that is part of the open world experience, but I just feel like this game doesn't handle it maybe as well as some of the previous ones have. I mean, it's still amazingly done. Yeah. And there's a very interesting through line in terms of what is going on with Batman himself, what is going on in his mind, what's going on with the Arkham Knight. Like, there's a lot of mysteries, a lot of unusual stuff's happening, but it's just hard to bring it together in a really cohesive way.
It really is.
Of this scope.
That being said, I think the actual experience of what you do in this game, which is flying often through the city, they have an immense upgrade tree. In terms of just the mechanics and the gameplay, there is so much depth and just crap to do here. I mean, the Batmobile, man.
Oh, man, and that's just it. It's like, just to look at Gotham, just like looking at Gotham and the expanse of this city and the detail in this world that we can see now in the new gen of consoles. Yeah, then you throw a Batmobile in, it's like, okay, so Batmobile is going to be like just a driving point. It'll be like the fast travel mechanism. No, man, you can call this thing into battle. You can use it to get to places you can't get at. You fight alongside it. You battle the Arkham Knight's tanks in it. Yeah. It is like a really integral part of Batman's arsenal, and they have just melded it into the game in such a, almost an organic way. As good as the Arkham game's on, as good as this game is, and it's amazing, it still is the third game in the trilogy, the fourth game in the series, and we're seeing a formula repeated again and again that is just ever so slightly starting to lose its luster.
Yeah. Well, it almost felt at times also in the combat, I was thinking, oh, this game's just like Batman. It's got that Batman combat. Oh wait, this is the game that started all that. Like, it's been ripped off. I mean, Shadows of Mordor, so many great games and not so great games have used this combat system before. So many games have emulated things that this game has done. But I think this game still does it better than anybody. The combat is still great. The open world stuff is still great. At the end of the day, even though it's got a couple kind of wonky bits and there's a little too much pizzazz in this thing, it's still a tremendous superhero game. This is one of the best games, I think, of the year. I really fell in love with it. But I would love to know what you're going to score it as part of the Dynamic Duo.
I think it is the strongest game in this series, even if it's feeling a little familiar. I'm going to give Batman Arkham Knight 9 out of 10.
I agree with you, Steve. 9 out of 10 for me as well. Batman, it was nice knowing you.